me right now on Kumite Radio is James Terry. He'll be fighting on September 29th at Bellator 206 against Adam Piccolotti in San Jose, California. What's going on, James?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing?
Good. You're one of the old school guys. You fought in Strikeforce, and a lot of those Strikeforce guys moved on to Bellator and the UFC. They're having a lot of success. You're on that list. When you see or when you run into the other fighters and coaches from those days, is it like the old boys club to you?
Yeah, no doubt, right? For sure, man. I mean, I've been around for a while, so there's a little bit of nostalgia going on. You know, when I see one of the old fighters, old coaches I've been working with, we like to reminisce and talk, and it's fun, man. And even the young fighters will reminisce with me. They're like, "Oh man, I remember this and I remember that, and you fought in this card and you fought this guy." So that's cool. That's always cool too, because they're like kind of like indirectly calling me old. So but yeah, man, it's been a blast. I'm lucky to be in this sport for so long. I mean, this is my 12th year fighting. Actually, I've completed 12 years, so this will be my 13th year fighting.
Speaking of the younger generation coming up in the sport right now, the kids that are in their late teens and early 20s, are they that much different from the fighters from 10 years ago?
Yeah, I think the sport has evolved tremendously. MMA is the sport now. It's like, hey, what's your background? And those kids are like, martial arts. Like I've been training MMA since I've been a little kid. Fighting was theoretical prior to MMA, essentially, right? In some respects, like real fighting. I mean, I'm talking about like ground game and minimizing the rules. Like people that knew, stand up were like, oh yeah, Muay Thai is where it's at. Kickboxing where it's at. Like they kind of knew like some of the fluff of some of the traditional martial arts wasn't necessarily practical, right? But when it really came down to it, when we had the MMA, when MMA, surfaced, it was, we still had grand ideas that these crazy karate blocks and, crazy like DDT moves in WWE were going to be working, but it's not theoretical anymore. People know what to train. They know how to train, and people know how to train them. And there's kids coming up, man, like my boy, Anthony Figueroa, his son, is been training MMA in Anthony's gym and Ant Dog's gym since the time he's been a little kid. So we got that coming up, and it's amazing seeing what these guys can do. It's real cool, and it's been awesome to be able to be in the sport and evolve, because I've evolved just tremendously. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really, really lucky to have entered MMA when I did, and then it kind of go through this cycle of just evolution and me training with all these awesome gyms and awesome fighters and awesome coaches, and evolving into the fighter that I am, that I feel like I'm on the level of anybody out there, that I could beat anybody out there. And that's something to be said, how far I've come and how far the sport's come, where it's at right now,
You've won 4 in a row, 3
Yeah.
for Bellator. Even though, you are 37 years old, do you feel like you are in the prime of your career right now?
Yeah, I feel like the physicality has not dropped off yet for me. I'm still beating a lot of my conditioning records. I'm very systematic about my stuff, and I keep track of certain things. Strength records, conditioning records, VO2 max records. Stuff like that, and I'm the best I've ever been right now. And when it comes to, obviously, the intelligence and the conceptual understanding of fighting, the longer you're in the game, the better you are. I think I'm at the cusp. I'm at that pinnacle of physicality and knowledge, and this is my time. I was always a late bloomer, man. When I graduated high school, I looked like I was 12. So, I really feel like I'm really confident. This is my time. I feel real good. Honestly, I felt like for the past 7-8 years, I've been fighting at a really, really high level. And the stars haven't aligned for me in many ways. I've been like right at the cusp of something really big happening in my career, and losing a few split decisions that I feel that I won, and many people feel I won. I mean, this is a conversation that I've had time and time again. There's, one judge, one round would have changed my entire career. The direction it took, and I had some things that didn't quite go my way, and but that's life. And I stuck to my guns, and I kept training, and I didn't let that derail me, because I have confidence in myself, and my family and my friends and my coaches and my teammates, they all have confidence in me, and that's really driven me. That's really driven me, and I have unfinished business in MMA. That is for sure, and now is my time.
What are the biggest differences you see in yourself compared to your days as a Strikeforce contender?
I'm much more well-rounded. I think I had, holes in my game. I think that I didn't work as hard as I thought I did. I worked really hard. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I felt like I was the hardest worker in the gym. At least, equal to or better than. I always try to be the hardest worker, but you look back at things you did and things you didn't do, and I'm on a different level now when it comes to my work ethic. I've built up an incredible tolerance to exercise, and that's taken time to build. I just do the right things, man, and the concepts and the strategies of fighting, the muscle memory, and learning new techniques. I mean, this is a never-ending, ever-evolving puzzle, and it's just there's so many things to learn. I mean, I recently got my black belt in jiu-jitsu, and you could say that was my weakness a few years ago, and I've embraced jiu-jitsu. I love it now. Guerilla Jiu-Jitsu in Pleasanton. I'm the manager, and I'm one of the instructors there. I'm full-time at that gym, and I've just been engulfed in jiu-jitsu and just loving it. And I didn't have a passion for jiu-jitsu before. Before I met Dave Camarillo, and he really sparked that interest in jiu-jitsu for me. I've had some phenomenal jiu-jitsu instructors, but for some reason, it's just things didn't align. And when I went to Guerilla, everything clicked for me. Just the wanting to learn the techniques and the drills that he had us do made me improve, and I love it. I'm really been digging being at that gym, and I feel my striking has improved immensely because I've been around some top-notch world-class strikers. I was the wrestling coach at Combat Sports Academy for 5 years, and there's just a bunch of killers in that gym, and I learned a tremendous amount from them. I'm very thankful that things kind of fell into place they did. And of course, Kung Lee started my career out, man. I mean, that guy is, there's not, I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. He helped me so much, and he groomed me, and it was perfect. When he was done with his career, we kind of parted ways, and like I said, I went to Combat Sports Academy and Guerilla, and it was the perfect decentralizing my training, because I'm loyal, man. If Kung, I'm a ride or die. If Kung would have kept his gym, I would have stayed there, and that would have been awesome. He's a great coach, and it's a great crew, but decentralizing your training and getting new looks and getting new coaches and getting new verbiage for the same or different techniques is the way you grow. And it just, things, like I said, things really came together. Whether or not I'm like I win the rest of my fights, if I never win another fight again, things worked out to where I progressed tremendously. Like I can hang with anybody right now. I can beat anybody right now, and I 100% feel that is true. My coaches feel it's true. I'm lucky that things worked out the way they did.
Yeah, Bellator 206, your opponent, Adam Piccolotti, he is a type of fighter you have faced before. Do you think so? Or does he present any new challenges for you?
Well, he is very well-rounded. So, I mean, shoot, this is my 30th fight. there's guys that I would say have elements of what Adam brings to the table, but Adam's tough, man. I mean, Adam's very unique. You know, he's really good jiu-jitsu, good wrestler. You know, he's stand-up's good. I mean, he's training with the Combat Sports Academy guys too. So it's funny we never ran into each other because, you know, I was training at AKA, and he probably came soon after I left. Not that I was a full-time AKA guy, but you know, Kung had an alliance with them, and I would go in there a few times a week for years. And I never trained with him there. He came in after. And then, you know, Combat Sports Academy, I think he comes in there once or twice a week, and I just always missed him, you know. I was there 3 times a week, Combat Sports Academy. I wasn't full-time there either. So it's funny because we have a lot of similar training partners. So he's a tough dude, man. But I also feel like he's got a lot of, like, he's been promoted a lot, right? And he deserves that. He deserves to be promoted. But I have not been promoted with Bellator. And I feel like I've deserved it. So I think this fight's happening for a reason, because this is going to show everybody, hey, you know, James earned the right to be promoted and be on these main card fights. And, you know, when I beat Adam, there's going to be no like, oh, James should have got this. No, he's going to get this. That's the bottom line. I need to be back on promotional contract. I need to be fighting big name fighters. I can fight big name fighters at 55 or 70. I'm ready to go. And everything is coming together, like I said. And Adam's going to be in front of me. Perfect time in my career. I can't wait.
SAP Center, San Jose, you fought there numerous times. Is there somewhat of a calming effect that comes over you fighting in a place that you're so familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is my 10th fight there. And I've only lost once there. I think I'm 8-1 there. I'd have to do the math. Maybe I'm 7-1. I think I'm 8-1, man. And the only guy I lost in quotations, because every major media website had me winning that fight, and I thought I won that fight, was against Bobby Green. That was my last Strikeforce fight, and that was a great fight. And I feel like I won that fight. And like I said, so did everybody else. So I've done really well in that arena, really well. You know, 8-1. I've had a few knockouts there that have been pretty epic. I fought in some huge cards there. I feel comfortable. You know, I feel about as comfortable as you can feel fighting, I think. You know, I think I'm already I'm pretty good at dealing with stress as it is, no matter what the stress be. And just years of wrestling and dealing with the psychology of performing in a one-on-one sport. And then fighting, this is my 30th fight, you know, long time. Yeah, I feel good, man. That arena, whatever arena, it doesn't matter. But I like fighting at home. I like sleeping in my own bed. You know, I like kissing my baby girls, kissing my daughters at night after I fight. You know, I like bringing my daughter Zoe up on stage with me because she's in town for weigh-ins. So yeah, I'm excited to fight there. That's my favorite arena to fight in, without a doubt.
It seems like you're living in the moment now. You're just kind of like taking it all in little by little. And it's not, you just said your mind is at peace, which is very dangerous.
Yeah.
For the other guy.
No doubt. I think when you're relaxed, your true potential comes out, right? That's why when guys spar, they spar a certain level, right? And then they fight, and a lot of guys shut down. You know, I've known a ton of guys, you know, they shut down in competition. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty of that. I've definitely, you know, done some things, or have not done some things, if you want to look at it like that, that maybe I would have done if I was, you know, less locked up, less nervous in the fight. But you know, that is true mastery of fighting. I think, you know, there's the skill set that you have to master, of course. Yeah. But, you know, mastering oneself is really where it's at. Mastering that inner demon in your head, whether you're training and it's telling you to quit because it hurts, or whether you're fighting and it's telling you this, and you know that's not the right thing to do. You know, you burn a lot of energy. I see that. I see a lot of guys, you know, in their head they're a basket case. You know, I've had teammates that they have they have a personality, and I'm very familiar with, and right before they fight, their personality changes, right? And you got to flip a switch but you got to flip a switch that's advantageous to you dominating your fight, and you applying the game plan, maybe I should say.
It seems like your last two fights, they've both been at catch weight, and they're lowering the weight slowly for you to transition to lightweight. And I've heard you speak about this, and you just mentioned
Yeah.
it earlier. As you know, is it easy for you to cut down to lightweight? Because you've been fighting at welterweight for a long time.
Hell no. Oh man, I fought 55 4 times, and it was horrendous, right? At the same time, I was talking about my conditioning and my work ethic. It's increased. That's also increased my discipline. I used to basically, just be this fat kid that just wanted to eat all the time, and that was increased when I started dropping to 55. I actually gained more weight. It's like the person that goes on the diet and then they feast and famine. They start eating and they blow up. I know a lot more about nutrition science, physiology of the body, where I'm able to do my nutrition in a proper way. My weight is down. I'm leaner year round. I don't balloon up. I made 165 easy. I mean, I was sweating. I was 164.7 and I was still sweating. And, Rich Chu, one of the promoters, he was like, "Oh man, you're still sweating. You made 65." Like he was like, kind of like excited, and I'm like, "That's right." And I'm like, "I'm still sweating. And, these guys better act right or I'm going to drive down to 55 and take that strap." I think that, like I was saying in one of the interviews, 70 is saturated with big name talent, right? And this sport is not always about who the best fighter is. Okay. It's about who has the most Instagram followers, who is provocative, who's going to make people talk, right? That's why we see guys rise so quick, right? And yeah, those guys always got to be good, but there's a lot of good guys, man. I mean, you look at the Bay Area in California. You watch the prelims before any of these SAP shows, and there's juggernauts in there fighting, man. I mean, a lot of those guys could be in the main card, and guess what? I'm the king of those juggernauts. I'm the king of the prelims. I mean, straight up, a lot of the guys that are on the main card are fed easy opponents because they're trying to be promoted, and we all know it. The main card in Bellator and many organizations, and I understand it's a business. There's a couple hot chicks that fight. They have 5 fights. There's an undefeated prospect. He fights a guy that's 50-50. And then there's a couple big name fights. That's usually how it goes, right? They don't have 2 guys that are 2 of the top guys in California or Kansas or whatever. 2 of the top local guys that are right in the cusp of being signed by UFC or being signed to a promotional agreement or used to be signed and have fought big name fights, top 10 guys. They don't have those guys fighting in the main card because they want new, fresh blood. They want hot chicks that promote, that cause people to talk, that had a lot of Instagram followers. It is what it is, man. I have fought my way and clawed my way back up. You win a fight, you go up 1 notch. You lose a fight, you go down 2, 3, 4 notches. And that's how the game is. You got to be in huge win streaks. If you're in my point of my career, in my stage in the career, you got to be on huge win streaks to get any kind of opportunities. Look at Adam. I mean, Adam's been on the main card every single time, and now he's fighting me, arguably the best guy he's fought, not arguably the most experienced guy he's fought, and we're fighting in the prelims. So at the same time, this card is stacked with big name talent. Like I started this conversation with, there's more opportunity for me at 55 because it's less saturated with big names. But I'll beat everybody. I'll beat all the 55ers. I'll beat all the 70ers. I get them. They're talking about doing new weights at 60, 65. I think 65 is the weight class. That's perfect for me. I love it. Bring it. I'm just ready to go. Any weight between 55 and 70, I'm good. If I had my choice, 65, 60 would be the perfect weight for me. I'd rather not cut the 55. But I also am a prize fighter, and I'm trying to make some money for my family. So I want to fight lightweight if they're going to give me big name fights.
For sure. Well, You get a huge opportunity against a rising prospect in Adam Piccolotti
And
on September 29th, Bellator 206, the biggest card probably in the history of, arguably in the history of the promotion. So I think this fight could steal the show. Even though it's on the prelims, you guys could go out there and put on one of those, classic battles, man. Good luck to you, and thank you for your time.
I appreciate you, brother.